The Leys School is a co-educational independent school. The Leys is located in Cambridge, England, and is a day and boarding school for about 560 pupils between the ages of 11 and 18. The school is a member of the Headmasters and Headmistresses Conference. History. The 19th century saw the founding of a large number of new schools in Britain, especially by the churches, including the Methodist Church. Although there were already several leading schools that offered an education for the sons of ministers of the church, some Methodists were asking also for schools to be established for sons of lay church members. The Methodist Conference set up a committee to look at the possibility of starting a new school at either Oxford or Cambridge. Following several visits to Cambridge, they discovered that a 20-acre site called the Leys Estate was being offered for sale. The estate was situated within easy reach of the city centre on the Trumpington Road, and it was close to the River Cam and to a number of Cambridge colleges. The estate was acquired for the sum of £14,275 on the 27th of September 1872. The Reverend Dr. W. F. Moulton, who had been the secretary of the committee, was asked to become headmaster of the new school. The school opened on the 16th of February 1875 with 16 boys, all from English Methodist families. After 2 years there were 100 pupils. During the 20th century, the Leys grew significantly, and by 1930 the number of pupils had reached 271. During World War II, the school temporarily moved to the Atholl Palace Hotel in Pitlochry, Scotland, returning to Cambridge in 1946. During the Cold War, the school was designated the auxiliary headquarters to the regional seat of government for Cambridge in time of war. Today the majority of the pupils are boarders, and since the admission of girls to the sixth form in the 1980s, the school has become fully co-educational. It now accepts pupils from the age of 11, rather than the age of 13 as it was before. Due to its location, the school is popular with Cambridge academics as a place to send their children, as well as a place to teach. Stephen Hawking sent his son to the school and has given a number of talks to its pupils since then. Principles. Despite its Methodist traditions, it has, for more than 50 years, been liberal on religion. Many pupils received confirmation into the Church of England in the school chapel, and some others have had religious backgrounds from faiths other than the Christianity. Despite its religious liberalism, the Leys is predominantly a Christian school, and they state openly that the school's Christian ethos lies at the heart of our education. Philosophy. Pupils attend chapel services twice a week, a weekday service on a Friday afternoon plus Sunday services with the whole boarding community on a monthly basis, with a weekly service with just the house on another specified day of the week. In addition, Holy Communion takes place once a term. The school motto is In Fide Fiducia, which is also the motto for its associated prep school, St. Faith's School. The two schools make up the Leys and St. Faith's Foundation. The school song is Rev. B. Helios Chi Alpha Iota Rho Epsilon Tau Epsilon. Another point of interest is its limited entrance selection, as the school depends more on the flexibility of its staff and an assessment of a pupil's potential than exam grades. Academic results. A-levels. In the A-level sitting of 2010, 32.7% of the school's pupils achieved results of 3 as or better. 94.1% of Leysian pupils' grades received A, B, C or F, while 99.4% were graded A. This year the A*C pass rate was 93.4% and the A*E pass rate was 99.1%. This is the second best A-level result ever for the school. GCSEs. In the GCSE sitting of 2010, 68.4% of papers were graded at A or A*. 40% of Laysian pupils gained 10 or more A or A** grades. Sport. The main sports played by boys during the 3 terms are rugby union, grass and astroturf hockey, cricket, tennis. Girls play hockey, netball, tennis. The school has a range of sports facilities spread across its 50-acre site. Other than the above-mentioned sports, the sports pitches include concrete, grass and astroturf, tennis courts and a football pitch. The astroturf pitches are fully lit for nighttime play. Indoor facilities include a fully equipped fitness center, a sports hall for indoor sports such as badminton and netball, 3 squash courts and an aerobics studio. The school has a 25-meter heated indoor swimming pool and a rowing boat house on the River Cam, as well as several boats. The school has an arrangement with Cambridge University allowing university academics and students limited use of its sports facilities, and many of the university's squash fixtures are held at the school. The school also allows local state schools use its sports facilities. The Leys swims, competing against Eton and on a national level at the annual Bath Cup. There is also a rowing club, with a boathouse in position on the Cam. Along with sailing, this is a minority sport, counted among pitch games. Other pitch games include squash, badminton, tennis, athletics, karate, Eton fives and golf. Famous Laysian sportsmen include Neil White, Freddie Brown, Jeff Windsor Lewis and Paul Svelak. Houses. There are 11 separate houses. School is a 13 to 18 boys boarding house with 30 to 35 boarders and 18 to 20 home boarders. Schoolhouse is situated in the center of the main campus overlooking the Thompson Building, Great Hall, Old Gym and Swimming Pool. Housemaster, Mr. Thomas Reed. Assistant Housemaster, Mr. Lawrence Higgins. West is a 13 to 18 boys boarding house with room for 45 to 48 boarders with 25 to 30 home boarders. West House is situated on the far side of the campus overlooking the AstroTurf and the Humanities classroom block. Housemaster, Mr. Andrew Long. Assistant Housemaster, Mr. Robert Francis. North A is a boys' boarding house of 40 to 45 boarders and 15 to 20 home boarders. It is situated close to the main library, sixth form club, tuck shop and the chapel. It overlooks the upper quadrangle. Housemaster, Mr. Ben Barton. Assistant Housemaster, Mr. Damian Rigdon. Bissaka is part of the co-educational day house. Initially a home boarding house, it was converted into 3 separate day houses by Rev. John Barrett. Bissaka is named after the 3rd headmaster of the school and is on the top floor of the day house building. Housemistress Miss Ethna Prosso Barker on the middle floor of the day house building. It overlooks the library, the maths department and the upper quadrangle, and it excels in sports and maths. It was named after the 5th headmaster of the school. Housemaster, Mr. Gavin Dewdney. Barrett at the bottom of the day house building. Typically around 50 people in each day house. Barrett is a strongly academic house, which also excels in music and sport. It was named after the 8th headmaster Rev. John Barrett. Housemaster, Mr. Martin Gale. Dale is a girls' boarding house with 38 to 42 boarders and 17 to 20 home boarders. Dale House is situated in the center of the main campus and is close to Great Hall, Science Building, Music School and Swimming Pool. Housemistress Miss Claire Battison. Assistant housemistress Miss Lucy Corbell. Fen is a girls' 13 to 18 boarding house with 45 to 50 boarders and 20 to 25 home boarders. It is situated close to the Theatre and Rug Technology Centre overlooking the main playing fields and Co-Fen at the western edge of the main campus. Housemistress Mrs. Karen Cox. Assistant housemistress Miss Kate Eves. East is the sixth form boys' house with 27 to 30 boarders. Boys making direct entry into the sixth form are normally accommodated here. It overlooks the Deer Park and the chapel to the north. There are also views over the main playing fields and sports complex to the south. Housemaster Rev. Clifford Mehari. Assistant housemaster Mr. Stephen Hancock. Grantor is the sixth form girls' house with 30 boarders and up to 2 home boarders. Girls making direct entry into the sixth form are normally accommodated here. It is situated in the center of the campus overlooking the chapel and Deer Park. Housemistress Mrs. Helen Williams. Assistant housemistress Miss Hazel Edmondson. Moulton is the junior 11 to 13 house for 20 to 25 boarders and 35 to 40 day pupils. The day facilities are situated on east of the campus overlooking the Deer Park and the chapel to the north. The boarding house is a 2-minute walk from the main gates in a Victorian townhouse. Moulton House was opened in 1998 and marked the first time that the Leys had allowed students aged 11 into the school. A section of East House was sacrificed to accommodate this new house. Housemistress Miss Alison McPherson. Housemaster Mr. Denzel Fernandez. Goodbye, Mr. Chips. The setting for popular novel and play Goodbye, Mr. Chips is believed to have been based on the Leys, where author James Hilton was a pupil. Hilton is reported to have said that the inspiration for the protagonist, Chips, came chiefly from W. H. Balgani, one of the masters at the Leys, who was in charge of the Leys fortnightly. Over the years, old boys have written to Geoffrey Houghton, a master of the Leys for a number of years and a historian of the school, confirming the links between Chips and Balgani. As with Mr. Chips, Balgani died at the school at the age of 82, having been linked with the school for 51 years and living his last years in modest lodgings opposite the school. Again, like Mr. Chips, Balgani was a strict disciplinarian, but would also invite boys to visit him for tea and biscuits. Hilton wrote, upon Balgani's death, that Balgani was, I suppose, the chief model for my story. When I read so many other stories about public school life, I am struck by the fact that I suffered no such purgatory as their authors apparently did, and much of this miracle was due to Balgani. Furthermore, the facial hair of one of the masters at the Leys earned him the nickname Chops, a likely inspiration for Mr. Chips' name. Notable alumni, known as Old Leysians, they include Academia James Moulton, Sir John Clapham, historian, Louis Arnaud, writer on aesthetics, Foundation Professor of the Philosophy of Education, London Institute of Education, Leys Board of Governors, Eric A. Havelock, classicist, J.J.C. Smart, Scottish-Australian philosopher, Christopher Smout, current historiographer royal, Simon Gaines, Elrington and Bosworth Professor of Anglo-Saxon at the University of Cambridge. Business Tanaka Ginosuke introduced rugby to Japan. J. Arthur Rank, 1st Baron Rank of Sutton Scotney, industrialist and film producer, founder of the Rank Organization. Amshel Mayor James Rothschild, businessman and member of the prominent Rothschild family. Politics, royalty John James Oddie, Conservative MP for Pudsey. Walford Davis Green, Conservative MP for Wensbury. Sir Poonambalam Thiagarajan Rajan, Chief Minister of Madras Presidency, British India, April 4 – August 24, 1946. Peter Oliver, Baron Oliver of Elmerton, Judge, Barrister and Member of the House of Lords. Richard Taylor, Physician and Independent MP for Wyre Forest. Martin Bell, former BBC News correspondent and independent MP for Tatton. King George Tupu V, former King of Tonga. King Hamad ibn Isa Al Khalifa, current King of Bahrain. Brent Simonet, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Bahamas. King Ahoito Anuikia Tonga Tukuafo, current King of Tonga. Science Francis Arthur Bainbridge, physiologist, discoverer of the Bainbridge reflex. Sir Henry Dale, Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine. Donald Woods Winnicott, pediatrician and psychoanalyst. Sir Donald Bailey, inventor of the Bailey Bridge. Neville Robinson, physicist who achieved record low temperature. Sir Andrew Wiles, mathematician, proved Fermat's last theorem. Drew Peacock, Professor of Quantum Mechanics at King's College, Cambridge. Sport G. L.I. Lloyd, Wales Rugby Union international who played against England 1900, 1901 and 1903. A.B. Flett, Scotland Rugby Union international in 1901 02. Tinsley Lindley, captained the England football team. Frank Hanford, English Rugby Union international who played on 4 occasions for his country and was part of the first official British and Irish Lions team that toured South Africa in 1910. W.M. Lowry, England Rugby Union international in 1920. Freddie Brown, captained England cricket team 15 times between 1949 to 51. Alan Skinner, first-class cricketer for Derbyshire County Cricket Club. David Skinner, captain of Derbyshire County Cricket Club. Justin Benson, first-class cricketer for Leicestershire County Cricket Club and Ireland captain. Jamie Murray, tennis player, won the Wimbledon doubles in 2007, the first Briton to win at Wimbledon for 20 years, elder brother of tennis player Andy Murray. Georgie Gent, tennis player. Media Eric Walton, author, basis for fictional character Lord Peter Wimsey. James Hilton, author whose works include Goodbye, Mr. Chips and Shangri-La. Ralph Izzard, journalist, author, British Naval Intelligence Officer, inspiration for the Ian Fleming novel Casino Royale and one of the inspirations for its protagonist James Bond. Malcolm Lowry, author whose works include Under the Volcano. Sir Alistair Burnett, journalist and broadcaster, editor of The Economist from 1965 to 74, long-serving ITN newscaster. J.G. Ballard, author whose works include Empire of the Sun. Christopher Hitchens, journalist and polemicist. Peter Hitchens, journalist and polemicist. Martin Bell, British UNICEF ambassador, a former broadcast war reporter and former independent politician. Other Michael Latimer, actor. Michael Rennie, actor. Sir John Royce, British jurist. Commander Nigel Sharkey Ward, Fleet Air Arm Squadron commander during the Falklands War. Old Leysians have their own old boys sports clubs, including the Old Leysian Football Club, which in its heyday was one of the leading rugby clubs in the London area. There is also an active Old Leysian Golfing Society. Headmasters. W.F. Moulton 1875 to 1898. W.T.A. Barber 1898 to 1919. H. Bissica 1919–1934, W. G. Humphrey 1934–1958, W. A. Barker 1958–1975, B. T. Bellis 1975–1986, T. G. Bainon 1986–1990, Rev. Dr. John Barrett 1990–2004. Mark Slater 2004–2013, Martin Priestley 2014.